It's April Fool's Day, right? Let's move on. Okay, well, the first reference I can find to April Fool is in the Canterbury Tales, in Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, and the Nun's Priest Tales tells the story of Chanticleer and the fox. I'm not quite sure what it's got to do with April the Fool, but it's about being fooled, and it's supposed to be told on the 1st of April. And there's a picture of Chanticleer. It's pinched from Aesop's fable, The Fox and the Crow, I think. But it's about how by appealing to Chanticleer's pride, the fox tricks him and takes him away, and then, of course, he eats him. So there you go. It's all good fun. Okay, in France, it's called un poisson d'avril. Apologies for my pronunciation, but which means an April fish. And in Italy, it's called pesche d'aprile, which is also about fish. And apparently, one of the things they do is they make paper fishes and they try to attach them to people's backs with them not knowing about it. It's hilarious, apparently. In April Fools, traditionally only happens in the morning, so you've only got till 12 o'clock. You've only got 40 minutes to do an April Fool's trick now if you want to do one. After that, it doesn't count, apparently. So I seem to remember that when I was a kid, actually. But
yeah,
it doesn't count after 12 o'clock. So no. But there you go. It's kind of that's how it went. Okay. Forgotten where this is. Oh yeah, Scandinavia. They have. They're quite good on trolls and things like that, aren't they, in Scandinavia? But this is April's Nar, which I think is the Norwegian. My Scandinavian is not that good, but there's the various variations of it in Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Denmark. With similar kind of names, but because the languages are reasonably similar, but they just go out and do daft things, you know. And, in Poland, it's called Prima Aprilis, and does anybody speak Polish? No, okay. Well, basically, it's no idea what it is. But the donkeys seem to found very funny in Europe, but it's just, you know, the same thing. They go out and they do daft things and play tricks on people. This is a sad one, actually, because there's a thing called Humarina in Ukraine, which is it's on the 1st of April, and it's parties, concerts, parades, fairs, etc. in the streets, particularly big in Odessa. So no one suspects that it's not happening this year, but it's something that's only happened since 1973 in Ukraine. These are like emojis, aren't they? They're kind of like joining. Yeah. Okay. Where is this? Oh, Bir Nisan is the Turkish version of it. Nisan is the Turkish for April, apparently. And again, dog is figured in the proceedings. Okay. Sorry about the quality of this, but this is Iran. One of the biggest party of the year in Iran is on the spring equinox, which is around about March 21st, and they have a long period of celebrations, and it finishes up on April the 1st with a day when they go out for picnics and hide things and chase children around and things like that. So it's the end of their party period, if you like. But I remember Iranians, I used to teach Iranians, and they used to have a really big special dues at that time of the year. Okay. What am I now? Oh, and it's called Donoh Esida, well, I think, but maybe that isn't what it sounds like. This is the Dia de los Santos Inocentes in Spanish-speaking countries, which doesn't happen on April the 1st, but it's the same kind of idea. Now I find this a bit weird because the Day of the Innocents is in December, isn't it? Late December, and it's about, I think, the massacre of the innocents when the Herod had all the newborn babies killed because of the birth of Jesus. But I think it's over the years it's trickled down into a day of looking after, having fun with, playing games with, making jokes with children. So that's kind of how it works in Spanish-speaking countries. Okay. The first sort of, well, one of the first hoaxes of was in 1816 something or other. 1698. This doesn't say 1698, but somebody issued a notice that the lions in the Tower of London were being washed, and they were invited to go and watch it. And loads of people turned up, and of course it was a big hoax. This is a kind of replica of from 1847, but in fact this originally happened in 1698, I believe. Anyway, there you go. There's the lions in the Tower of London, which don't look very real to me, but there you go. 1950. What was it? 1957, I think this was on Panorama. They had a spaghetti tree. People were, and bearing in mind that millions of people believe that spaghetti grew on trees from then onwards for a while anyway, but this was the BBC having jolly good fun with us. So there we are. And I can't remember what year this was yet. Oh, in the 1960s, 62, I think, there was a hoax that Disney were negotiating purchasing Lenin's tomb from Moscow and exhibiting it at Disneyland. Didn't happen, of course, but that was one of the April the 1st hoaxes. Oh, and this is a lovely one, another Panorama job, Flying Penguins. They made a film of, you can see it on YouTube. Don't have time to show it today probably, but they got these penguins taking off and flying through the air, which was, and it looks absolutely fantastically real, but of course it's not true because penguins can't fly. Oh, and this is let's see, an Alaska, Mount Edgecombe in Alaska. Some bloke set fire to some tires somewhere behind the volcano, and the smoke rising out of it looked to people that the volcano was erupting, and there was mad panic. And then they went around the back and found he'd been burning tires. So there you go. That was, don't know whether it was deliberate or accidental, but it's a lovely picture, isn't it? It's a lovely picture of the volcano. Oh, I love this one. In 1962, a Swedish hoax was that if you put tights over your television, you could get colour telly. And lots of people were trying it out, apparently, but this gentleman looks a bit bewildered here, doesn't he? Not convinced that tights are working over his colour telly, but no. Oh yeah, this is the in 2008. I think it's Burger King introduced the left-handed Whopper. So you could only buy one of these if you were left-handed. So there you go. And people actually believed it. There we are. Oh, and this was a tsunami that happened in the Aleutian Islands in 1940. I lost the date. It was 1947, I think, or something like that. And there was a warning given, and the powers that be thought it was a hoax, so they ignored it, and hundreds of people were killed in as far distant as Hawaii and Alaska, because of course the tsunami trouble. Marvin Gaye died on the 1st of April 1984, I think, and it was for a little while believed not to be true, that it was a April's Fool's Day hoax. That sounded very funny hoax to me, but there you go. It was, a lot of people had to be convinced that it actually happened. Oh yeah, 2004, Gmail was launched, and everyone thought it was a hoax because they said it did all kinds of things that would be totally impossible with the the things that were available at the time. But of course, it proved to be absolutely usable, and there we go.
Well, that was really interesting, Graham. But
It was.
Where did it impact April the 1st? Because people believe all sorts of rubbish on any day of the year.
Well, I know. I mean, what is wrong with us, for heaven's sake?
I found lots of things that were American, like people that we never heard of, and only been known in America. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I remember the spaghetti tree thing. I don't know whether it's
yes, I remember that.
And it was sort of, I suppose in those days, spaghetti was by and large, well, I don't know. I think it was something we got in tins, wasn't it, in those days? But I don't think you realise that. It reminded me of when I was at primary school, sitting next to this boy called John Picton. And we were doing drawings and things, and he painted this lovely tree with all orange things on it. And so the teacher came around and she said, "What's that?" And he said, "It's a carrot tree." Now, I don't know, perhaps, I don't think they had a garden, and I don't think he'd ever been out in the country or anything. And the teacher, even when I was 6, I thought this was unfair. Took the mickey out of it, in front of our class. Yeah. Oh, look what John's got, and all the rest of it. And the poor lad was so embarrassed, and it was a lovely little drawing, and I thought, how sad that. Even when I was 6, I thought, gosh, that's a bit mean. But
well, at least he knew it was a plant. She should have said, well,
yeah, but it's also imaginative, isn't it?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I mean, even if carrots don't grow on trees, but it's kind of like he'd thought about something.
He'd thought about it. He'd worked some logic out there, hadn't he? Exactly. Build on it. You don't knock him down.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think that in April Fools seems to have happened in the Middle Ages quite a lot, because maybe it's the emergence of spring, the end of winter, when things are looking a bit brighter. And in the Middle Ages, that spring equinox, not just I mentioned it in Iran, but I think everywhere, it was a time of great celebration. So they kind of, because the winter was over and we could look forward to new things and stuff. And so I think April the 1st was kind of part of the, doing daft things to celebrate the new year. So thank you. Okay. Well, thank you for your patience and understanding.
Oh.